All right, old school NBA fans, self-researched NBA facts. Got another video for you. As always, thanks to anybody who watches my videos, subscribes to my channel. I really appreciate it. I want to send a special thanks to my man, Kevin. I don't want to mispronounce it, so I'll just spell it out. L-I-U-K. Kevin, thank you. He's donated a couple of times now. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Given a lot of meaningful contributions. Again, thank you. Very well received, and I appreciate your generosity. Okay, this video here is actually by request. I told somebody I was going to do this, so trying to keep my word. About LeBron James's shooting percentages. He said that LeBron shoots under 40% outside of 3 feet. So I decided to take a look at that, a closer look, and do a few comparisons, because that's what I do. No better thing to explain than to just get right into it. So what I did was I compared LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade, Ray Allen, Michael Jordan. All we have from Jordan for shooting percentages by distance is his last 2 years on the Bulls, 97, 98, and the 2 years on the Wizards. That's all we have of Jordan. Unless somebody can actually go through the videotape and figure out what distance he shot every shot, which is going to be pretty much impossible. Now, I've heard from a couple people, Uncut Hoops has said that it's right at 50% from the mid-range. That's insane, is what that is. And also, just for good measure, I threw in Anthony Edwards, the guy who's supposed to be the next Jordan. Yeah, give me a break. He might be able to jump out of the gym, but believe me, his footwork and his, all his fundamentals that made Michael Jordan such an effective mid-range shooter, Anthony Edwards is not anywhere close to that level. He's kind of like a pale version as a defender. Maybe attacking the rim. There are some similarities, but come on, no, just not quite. But as far as the mid-range goes, he's got a lot of work to do on that. And this is in an era where everybody's numbers are up across the board. Three-pointers, mid-range, field goal percentage in general, everybody's numbers are up. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, look at Kevin Durant's numbers, even LeBron James's numbers. If he would have retired in, say, like 2020, his numbers would have been even more ridiculously bad. Because this era is just, there really is no resistance. If you want to take a three-point shot, it's going to be wide open. If you want a mid-range shot, it's almost certainly going to be wide open. That's the other part of this that needs a lot of context. There was not a lot of easy shots in the mid-range. That's where all the traffic was. That's where all the resistance was. You weren't just going to get clean looks all game long, especially if you were a star player. But anyway, so in their careers, the reason why LeBron James appears to have this really high field goal percentage is because he shoots 74.1% inside of 3 feet. Well, duh, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's like saying, why is Shaq's field goal percentage so high? Obviously, no, it's not to that extreme. But when people mention this stuff, do they even have a brain? And that's Shannon Sharpe specifically. That moron put that graphic up talking about, LeBron's a better shooter than Michael Jordan is at this age. Like, no, he's not even close. And the league was different, very different. Like, man, these people, and I just can't believe how many people buy this stuff as gospel. They eat it up and run with it. So, as you can see, the rest of the guys, Kobe's at 637, Wade's at 655, Ray Allen 618. Now, old man Jordan at 524, and those years on the Wizards really brought it down. Anthony Edwards, 669. He's got the second highest on the list. He should, because these guys are playing in an era where there is just little to no resistance at the rim or anywhere else. Now, as soon as you start getting outside of 3 feet, then you see who the shooters are. All right. 3 to 10 feet, which still, if you take a 4 or 5 foot shot, that's going to register that. That's still not exactly the same thing, but let's just take a look. LeBron's at 431, so he's way different, just moving out a few feet. Kobe is at 437. He's actually better than LeBron. So is Dwayne Wade, 457. Now, Ray Allen and Jordan and Anthony Edwards, they're under 40%. But again, they're shorter, and this is only Jordan's last 4 years. So obviously, if we would have went back and looked, if we had the ability to look through his whole career, his numbers would have been much higher from 3 to 10 feet. However, even with that said, the 10 to 16 foot range, now we're getting into the mid-range. LeBron James's numbers start to shrivel, and you'll see Jordan's pop up. LeBron's at 37% from 10 to 16 feet. Kobe's at 43, Wade at 38.4, Ray Allen 43.4, Michael Jordan, the highest on the list, at 44.4. And again, this is the last 4 years of Jordan's career. I cannot emphasize that enough. This is not Jordan's career, just his last 4 years. This is a different time. Defensively, the pace, and Jordan himself. He's definitely not in his physical prime when he's on the Wizards. And then Anthony Edwards, 10 to 16 feet. This guy here is in his prime, and he's only shooting 37.5% from 10 to 16 feet. What? That's awful. 16 feet to three-point line. LeBron, 386. Now, why would LeBron shoot better for his career from 16 feet to the three-point line than he does from 10 to 16 feet? Less resistance. The closer you are to the basket, the more resistance you're going to get. The farther you get away from it, the less resistance you get. But even still, 386, him and Dwayne Wade. Okay? Look what Kobe's at, 402. Ray Allen, 434. Michael Jordan, 453. Old man Jordan, better than all these players. Way better than Anthony Edwards, 329. That's a joke. Anthony Edwards is not a good mid-range shooter at all. He's terrible. All right. The three-point shot, LeBron's at 35%. Kobe is at about 33. Dwayne Wade, 29.3. Ray Allen, 40%. Jordan's only at 31.5, but again, he didn't shoot as much, but whatever. Anthony Edwards, 36.5, but Ray Allen obviously is the best because that's what he was as a three-point shooter. And Anthony Edwards actually the second best, and LeBron the third best. So why would these guys here, Edwards and LeBron, have higher three-point percentages? Easy, because they didn't have resistance. They're getting wide open, take your time and shoot looks. Ray Allen was shooting catch, shoot. Reggie Miller, Michael Jordan, you didn't have time to set your feet. You just didn't have the time back then as you do now. But anyway, moving along. So all told, outside of 3 feet for his career, LeBron James is 38.43. And this was the whole purpose of the video. Because somebody brought it up. I looked into it. I did the math. They're absolutely right. LeBron James shoots 38.43% outside of 3 feet. Kobe Bryant actually is just under 40%. But again, he played in a tougher defensive era, and he shot a decent amount of three-pointers. Dwayne Wade, 38%. Ray Allen is at 41.67. Jordan is at 39.73. But again, Jordan played in a different era. This is only his last 4 years. Anthony Edwards, 36.48 outside of 3 feet. That's pathetic. That's not good at all. That's the next Michael Jordan? Okay. All right, now, here comes the bread and butter of Michael Jordan. Outside of 10 feet, LeBron just gets worse. 36.86. Kobe, 38.7. Dwayne Wade, 35.4. Ray Allen, 42.26. Michael Jordan, again, just those 4 years, 40.4%. Anthony Edwards, 35.63. Not really that good. Now, the mid-range, this to me is what it's all about who's the best shooter facing resistance, facing defense. When a guy is on you and you have to rely on your footwork, you have to rely on head fakes, pump fakes, all that stuff. Over what shoulder are you going to shoot it from? This is where it comes into play, right here, the mid-range. LeBron James is at 37.8. That's not good at all. Kobe's at 41.51. That's pretty good. Dwayne Wade, 38.5. Meh. Ray Allen, one of the best shooters ever. I think most people would agree. 43.4 in the mid-range. That's good. Michael Jordan, 44.85, and that is only his last 4 years. Better than Ray Allen's whole career. What can you say? You know what I mean? Michael Jordan is the mid-range king. Anthony Edwards, 35.2 in the mid-range. Horrid. It just is. It's not good. Now, you want to take a look at the playoffs. Again, Michael Jordan, I'm doing just LeBron, Kobe, Dwayne Wade, and Jordan. Because I feel like if I bring in any more modern players, that their numbers are way misleading for the simple fact of how the rule changes have made there be little to no resistance on the defensive end. In their playoffs, inside of 3 feet. And again, we only have 2 years for Jordan, his last 2 on the Bulls in playoffs. LeBron's at 735 inside of 3 feet. When you're a 6'9", 260-pound athletic, player that he is, makes sense, right? He's making about 3 out of every 4 shots inside of 3 feet, in his playoff career. Now, that's going to be dunks, layups, putbacks, easy baskets. I'm sure some of them were contested, but whatever. Kobe is at 60.2. That's not terrible. 60.2%. Dwayne Wade, which I was surprised to see how good Dwayne Wade was around the rim. He had good footwork, absolutely. But 64.4 was much higher than I thought it would be. But would you believe that Michael Jordan was 656 inside of 3 feet his last 2 years on the Bulls only? Now, if you would have tracked that back to when he was younger, I guarantee you that would have been closer to 70%. But here we go. This is where LeBron James falls off a cliff. Not only in the shooting aspect, but just in the whole GOAT argument. It's stupid to begin with. But this is where LeBron James does not have a leg to stand on, okay? It's a joke. These people that keep bringing it up, whatever. They're not basing this just on facts, because this isn't something that just naturally occurred. Like when, Wilt Chamberlain was obviously, the best individual player in the league, whatever. But when their careers were over, people looked and was like, well, Bill Russell was the winner, though. He made his teammates better, 10-0 in Game 7s, all that stuff came into play. But Michael Jordan, by the first three-peat, most people are already saying this guy might be the best basketball player ever lived. By the second three-peat, everybody was saying it. Then came the media talking about LeBron James. They were trying to make a case for LeBron James. And I don't mean present the facts and say, hey, what about LeBron? No. They want to just force their way in because they want him to be the GOAT. They've put so much into this, and I don't even understand why. Like, most people don't agree with it still. It's the minority think LeBron James is the greatest player of all time. They'll only keep bringing up longevity because they know peak championships, he's going to lose out big time. Not just Michael Jordan, but there's other players too that were better. Two-way player, skill set, all these things come into play. It's not close. LeBron James has no business even in the conversation. He does deserve to be in the all-time great conversation. I will say that. In the top, maybe 10 to 15 player, sure. He belongs somewhere in that conversation, no doubt about it. But top 5? I don't think so. And this is part of the reason why. 3 to 10 feet. 3 to 10 feet in the playoffs in his career. LeBron James is shooting a meager 41.3%. Now, in comparison, remember, this guy's playing in a severely easier era to score in. Severely compared to the 90s, the 2000s. I don't think so. They outlawed hand checking, I think, in 06. So even some of Kobe's numbers are a little higher than they would have been had hand checking stayed right where it was. Kobe Bryant, 46.5. That's good. Dwayne Wade, 43.2. Not bad. And Michael Jordan, only the 2 years, is right there with Wade and better than LeBron, 43%. Only his last 2 years, though. I guarantee you that number would be closer to 50% if we had all of Jordan's numbers going back to his rookie year. Anyway, again, this is just the playoffs. 10 to 16 feet. Kobe's actually got the best one at 44.5. But again, I believe that Kobe played, 5 or 6 playoffs with no hand checking that helped his numbers out. But still, he's the highest on the list, whatever. The next is Jordan, and that's only 2 years of Jordan. I cannot stress that enough. 41.8. Dwayne Wade is right there with Jordan at 41.2. LeBron James at 36.3. That's a joke. That's 5% worse than Dwayne Wade from that range. That's nuts. 2% worse from 3 to 10 feet than Dwayne Wade. Then you go to 16 foot to 3-point. That's Michael Jordan's bread and butter. He's the best there at 446. Nobody even close to him. The next one is Kobe at 402. And then Dwayne Wade, 389. And LeBron James, pathetically, at 37.7% from 16 to 3-point range in his playoff career. And you combine these two together, mid-range in LeBron James's playoff career, 37% in this weak, soft cupcake era. He played like 2 years with hand checking. Then it was over. Okay, the three-pointer, and this stood here always kills me. Now again, Jordan in just the 2 years, 97, 98, he only shot 23.6%. I think it was 97, he actually shot pretty good. 98, he didn't shoot well at all, but whatever. Anyway, so Dwayne Wade is at 33.8 in his playoff career for three-point shots. Kobe's at 33.1. LeBron's at 33.2. Now, the Nick Wrights and Shannon Sharps will tell you that LeBron is a much better three-point shooter than Michael Jordan was. And he shot a lot more of them, so he should be, right? But he's not. Not in the playoffs. Michael Jordan's career, 332. The same as LeBron. Look it up. Michael Jordan's playoff career, 33.2% from three. LeBron, 33.2% from three. The exact same. And Jordan just didn't really shoot him that much. He didn't want to be that far away from the basket. His game was in the mid-range and, early in his career, closer to the basket. He was not a three-point shooter. He just wasn't. He didn't want to be. He wanted nothing to do with it. Okay, so going by distance of how these guys shot their shots in the playoffs, LeBron James took 35% of his shots inside of 3 feet. Okay, that's more than any of these guys by a good margin. Dwayne Wade was actually at about 31, which is a lot. Kobe and MJ, 21%. That's it. Now, again, that's only 2 years of Jordan. I'm sure early in his career that number would have went up. But in 97 and 98, that's it. Only 21% versus LeBron's 35%. That's a lot. 3 to 10 feet. Dwayne Wade is at 17%. That's 1 out of every 6 shots. Dwayne Wade is between 3 and 10 feet. So about half of Dwayne Wade's was inside of 10 feet. Kobe was only at 148. LeBron 142, but you add that with the 353, that's 49.5% of LeBron James's playoff shots were inside of 10 feet. Very important to note that. So you don't want to look at overall field goal percentage. That's stupid. This guy's shooting 49.5% of his shots inside of 10 feet for his playoff career. He better have a decent field goal percentage. Michael Jordan, and again, this is only the 2 years, he was only shooting 30.7% from 0 to 10 feet. 30.7. That's it. It's not that much. Okay? Now, when you go to 10 to 16 feet, now LeBron doesn't shoot as much from that range. He's not comfortable with it. Why? Because he shoots 36%. But he only .091. Well, that's what Jordan shoots 3 to 10 feet. Exactly. Now you're getting where Jordan does shoot a lot. He shoots a lot between 10 to 16 feet and 16 to the three-point line. So 10 feet to the three-point line, Michael Jordan is shooting 58.6% of his playoff shots, at least in 1997 and 1998. That explains a lot. Dwayne Wade in the mid-range, well, he was shooting a decent amount too. About 42% of his shots were in the mid-range. And Kobe in the mid-range was shooting about 44.5%. Not as much as Jordan because he shot more threes. And again, LeBron only 17% from 16 to three-point range. So in the mid-range, he's only shooting just over a quarter of his shots is in the mid-range. He's got a quarter in the three-point, actually 24%, a quarter between 10 feet and three-point line, and half from 10 feet and in. So this guy is shooting 75% of LeBron James's shots is inside 10 feet or three-pointer. That's 3/4 of his shots. Now, Michael Jordan only shot 10.7% of his shots were three-pointers. Again, he just didn't shoot a lot. If he shot 25 shots a game, only 2.5 were three-pointers. Not that many. Dwayne Wade, about the same, 10%. You know, the era that Jordan played in, it just wasn't a big part of the game. Now, Wade's, it was bigger, but he just wasn't super good at it. I mean, he wasn't terrible. He shot 33.8% from three. Yeah, he wasn't bad. He just didn't shoot a lot. I think he just felt more comfortable, whatever. Kobe Bryant shot almost 20% of his shots were three-point shots. So that's going to lower his field goal percentage because he wasn't shooting near as many close shots like LeBron was, but he was shooting a lot of threes. So that's going to make it his field goal percentage go down a bit. But also you got to remember, Kobe was shooting contested three-pointers. Sure, you can show me some video where, oh, look, he had an open three, I'm sure. But you see LeBron James in the last few, ever since he's been a Laker, getting wide open three-pointers. Nobody within 5-10 feet of him. Playoff games, I think it was last year, he had a chance to tie a game to hit a three-pointer. He bricked it. What can you say? So the numbers speak for themselves. Michael Jordan is maybe the best mid-range shooter who ever lived. I mean, really, I believe that. Better than Ray Allen. Now, this is just Jordan's final 4 seasons. And he is shooting, that's about 44.8%, okay? 44.8% here. I think it's 85, whatever. And Ray Allen is 43.4%. So Jordan's a whole 1.5% better than Ray Allen in the mid-range. And Ray Allen played a decent amount of years with no hand checking. Kobe Bryant, his mid-range, he's at 4.16 in the mid-range. That ain't Jordan's 3-something better, and that's only the last 4 years of Jordan. And LeBron James, 3.78, 37.8% in the mid-range right here. Terrible. That's not good at all. So, again, anybody who's going to tell me, like Shannon Sharp, the idiot, that LeBron James was a better shooter than Michael Jordan, please. He's not even a better shooter than Kobe, Dwayne Wade. I don't think so. He might be a better shooter than Anthony Edwards, but that's it. I mean, he is not a better shooter than Kobe, Dwayne Wade, or Jordan in the mid-range. And then in the playoffs, three-pointer, he's about like everybody else. They're all the same, pretty much. And technically, he's behind Dwayne Wade even. So, again, I don't know where these shots that he's shooting that makes him so great are coming from, but none of the numbers indicate that. Unless he's inside of 3 feet, that's it. Yeah, he's making shots because he's like the biggest dude, at his position at any given game. But There is no evidence to support LeBron James is a better shooter than Kobe. Definitely not Jordan. Not even Dwayne Wade, really. So I don't know where this stuff comes from, but it's not correct. You're trying to use a general field goal percentage as some kind of proof LeBron James is some great shooter to the uneducated fans, the casual fans who don't know any better, who don't want to do the homework. Well, I've done it, and I'm showing you here right here. Bring me a case to how LeBron James is a better shooter. I laid it all out. Make it, because I don't think it exists. I think it's all a bunch of crap. It's a complete crap. All right. That's all I got for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Again, please hit the like button if you don't mind. It turns out it means a great deal to hit that like button. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Until next time.